I'm sorry that you're waiting on me. How are you?
No worries. Good morning, Glenn. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hold on a second. This should be a little bit better. There. All right.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. My name is Kelly Rosequist. I am the CEO of Dog Training Elite. And today we're just going to go over a little bit about the brand, what makes us unique, and then I'm going to leave some time at the end for questions.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here because I do have some slides to share with you this morning.
Some what?
Some slides.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Right.
A lot of these are familiar. Love the Border Collie.
That is Jojo, and Jojo was actually one of our Malinois Foundation dogs, so our nonprofit.
Oh,
She was
really?
being raised by one of our trainers, and she is now working as a PTSD and mobility support service dog here in Salt Lake City for
Oh, great. Yeah, there's so we had a Border Collie I got from a dog pound when I was living near Washington, D.C. We like to go north instead of into DC. And I just kind of, she came around and there was this terrier that was trying to get up and then, me. And then she was kind of sitting in the background with this dejected look. I think she had some abandonment or something. So I just started talking to her and she came over and I picked her up and I put her like in the crook of my left arm and she just pressed her whole body back, into me. And I was just like, oh my God, this one's coming home.
Oh,
So
yeah, how
she
could
was
you
such a
not?
great dog. Yeah, she was a great dog.
Yeah, they're fantastic. We use a lot of Border Collie mixes for our service dogs. So actually, Jojo in that picture is a Lab Border Collie cross.
Oh, okay.
It really helps we get the intelligence of the Border Collie, but the size of the Lab. So you'll see us use that mix quite a bit in service dog training here.
Great.
Okay, so I know at this stage you guys all know a little bit about our brand, but I do just want to talk a little bit about what makes us different. We do focus on a personalized in-home training. We found that working with the owners in their homes is the most effective way to not only train their dog, but to teach them. We want to make sure long after we're gone that the owner still has control and that dynamic doesn't deteriorate after we leave. We do offer a really customized training solution to our owners. We do not believe in a one-size-fits-all model. All dogs are individuals and the owners are individuals. So we do
Yeah.
tailor that to how the owner needs to be taught and how the dog needs to be trained. We do pride ourselves in outstanding customer service. One of the things that makes us the most different from other dog training concepts is that we take a people-first approach to everything we do. Working with dogs is amazing. It's fun. It's fulfilling. But at the end of the day, it's the clients who are going to maintain that training, and it's our clients who write the check. So it's really important that they have an exceptional experience also. So everything we do from the first call in to their very last training session, the entire experience is built around the client. And we certainly work with dogs of all breeds, ages, and disabilities. Not all trainers do this, but we believe all breeds are capable of being trained, and a dog is never too old to learn new tricks, if you will. So it's in the name, but what really makes us unique? We offer 7 distinct dog training services. This is one of the things that I will say makes our owners stand out in their markets is the niche products that we provide. We definitely provide obedience training. Every dog, no matter what their path in life, starts with obedience. That's kind of the building block of everything else that we do. We do provide puppy services starting at a young age. The earlier we can get started, the easier it is for everybody. We do provide some personal protection training. Some of our franchise owners do offer this. Our protection training program is very involved. We do not train sentry dogs. We do not train junkyard dogs. The dogs that we train for protection are family pets who are there to protect. So they're family dogs first. They should be safe in the community with other people, other dogs, and our protection training is command-based only. We do not want to put out any dangerous dogs, so we are very, very particular about that program. We do offer service dog training for most of our owners. This is kind of their passion. This is why they're doing what they're doing. We currently offer quite a few types of service dog training that you can specialize in. We offer psychiatric, which is going to cover any diseases of the mind, so depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder. We train for PTSD, mobility support, autism support, diabetic alert, and seizure response is currently what we're offering. And that just continues to grow as we work with dogs, and we're constantly figuring out here on a corporate level, what else can dogs do? And they're pretty amazing. In the last year, we've done a gluten detection dog, nut detection. So people with severe allergies, we can help the dogs detect it prior to them ingesting that or entering a room with that substance. We do train for therapy animals as well. These are the animals that are going out and working in their communities, volunteering at hospitals, nursing homes, schools. So we do that training. We do also work with dogs that have some anxiety or aggression issues. For a lot of our trainers, this is probably one of the most passionate things that they train, because we get the opportunity to rehabilitate some dogs that otherwise would have been euthanized or ended up back in a shelter. So it's really rewarding work that we get to do there. We do offer small group classes after the initial training. Our focus in group classes is neutralization, not socialization. So we want the dogs to learn to go out in their community, ignore other dogs, ignore other people, and still be able to focus on their handler. So we do small group classes in neighborhood parks, and some of our owners also do their group classes. They go out on a group hike. They'll go to the lake together. So basically, we're just exposing the dogs to different environments and making sure their obedience is on par everywhere the owner wants to take them. And through our nonprofit, we do provide service dogs for military and retired veterans as well. So our story starts back in 1976, where John Mestis, or the dog father as we like to call him around here, first started training. When John first got started, he focused primarily on hunting dogs, bird dogs, and competed in a lot of field trials and hunting tests. He then went on to win quite a few of those, and then started judging those contests as well. He opened up a kennel operation in about 1990, and the focus was still on kenneling and training of hunting dogs. Around 2011, we started to see that a lot of the dogs that were coming in for hunting training, the owners would say, well, I don't need my other dog trained at this level, but I just wish they would be decent. And so we started to realize there was a real need just for pets to get some training as well. And that's when Arrow Kennels kind of became the model we are now. And we changed our name to Dog Training Elite. We sold the kennel and started focusing on that in-home model. We first started franchising in 2014 with our Phoenix, Arizona location, and opened up for national expansion in 2019. I often get asked why the gap. That was a very purposeful gap. We wanted to make sure that our program was able to be replicated and successful in an entirely different market than our own. So we spent 5 years testing every sort of market strain we could think of, adding new programs in both locations, and making sure in 2 different places we could be successful. Once we were sure we had that down, we opened up for national expansion. So why would you consider a Dog Training Elite franchise? Well, there's quite a few reasons, but one, we have some pretty impressive margins. I'm sure you've noticed if you've looked at our pricing for our services, we are definitely on the higher end of our services. And there's a reason for that. They're awesome. We do offer really great services and a really great experience for our customers. But our overhead is low. For most of our owners, all they need is their dog and their vehicle, and they are good to go. We are a home-based model, so we do just require that wrapped vehicle, and you can operate your business from anywhere you would like. Our co-founders are our dogs. So every marketing event we do, every corporate event we get together, the dogs always come. They are our co-founders. They own half of our business. And honestly, they are the key to our success. My husband always jokes that, you know, our dog Arrow or Golden is a way better salesperson than he is. And so the dogs play a really big role in that client acquisition and then ongoing marketing. There's obviously quite a bit of personal fulfillment that comes from this, whether it's rehabilitating dogs, training service dogs, or even just helping people fall back in love with their dogs. Every day is a really fulfilling day for us here. And of course, we have that piece of community involvement. This is a really big element to what we do. You know, we always tell our franchise owners, we are a business that cares. And we hope that permeates from franchise system all the way down to our local units. But we get involved by helping with shelters, training service animals in our communities, donating to auctions and other, you know, nonprofits in our area. So we really encourage you to do the same. So our investment breakdown, I'm sure you guys have already seen all of this. We do have a pretty low investment range. The difference in that investment range there is just the number of territories. The cost of operations and opening is it's negligible between 1 unit and 5. It just depends on how large your territory is and where you get to, you know, start marketing right away. We are SBA approved, and we do offer a veteran discount. We love and support our veterans, and they make some phenomenal owners for us. Our education process is much like most brands. You work your way through the education, learning about the brand, FDD review. We do ask you to do some market research, and we're having you look at the different companies in your area. We're having you research how many dogs are in your area. It's really important information to have. We don't worry so much about the competition, but we like to know who they are and what they're offering. Once you get to that peer review, that is one of my favorite parts of this process, is the opportunity for you to reach out and talk to our owners. I know I'm biased, but we have the best owners in the world. And so I think it's really a great opportunity for you to be able to reach out and talk to them and get to know their experience and hopefully kind of match up to a market that's similar to yours to be able to get that information. After that, we do invite you out for a discovery day. Our discovery day is very hands-on. So you get to go out on appointments, you get to meet clients, see a group class in action. We want you to know what a day in the life would look like. Assuming all goes well, we have that executive interview and then the franchise awarded. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop my share here so I can pop back up on the video and answer any questions you might have.
I was wondering about, I don't currently have a dog. I have 3 cats, but at one time we had 2 cats and 4 dogs in the house. So I think we'll be all right. The dogs you get, you say you get them through the Malinois Foundation. I know from my experience with labs, I had it when I was working as an engineering manager. My boss raised yellow labs. My brother has 2 master trial. I don't know. He's got 1 master hunter, and I don't know at what level Merlin is. But Henry's getting a little bit old to do field trial work. But man, he's a beast. I mean, skill-wise.
Yeah.
But and I grew up with a black lab, and so I know that breed, and I know the hip dysplasia, and I think there's a retinal issue that is endemic to the breed. Do your puppies get are you know, they at an age where you can check for that? I know that they were saying 12 to 14 weeks. A lot of the franchise owners were saying. that 12 to 14 weeks, 14 being more ideal because of their psychological development. Um, are they able at that age, or do you have to wait until they're about a year? And what do you do at that point in there? Because I used to work with a group in Potomac, Maryland, down at the wildlife refuge there, and we did training dogs for like Vizslas Weimaraners, um, and one of my favorites is the German Shorthairs.
Yes, yes.
And talk about a smart dog. But and I didn't do much with their training regimen. It was when I was first introduced to a fetch table, and I kind of went, but I guess when you want a guide quality dog, that's just like I think I saw Whitley Cheatham talking about the force table for the service dogs, or not the force table, but the fetch table for service dogs. So my question is there any kind of like breed lines you get for dogs that are donated to the Malinois Foundation, or are they just kind of what shows up?
That's a really good question. So yeah, most of the time we are working with breeders that breed for service animals. And so we make sure mom and dad both have OFA or PINHIP, one of those, make sure that they've both been cleared, retinal clearances, cardiac, heart clearances. That is the majority of the time. Sometimes our applicants for the Malinois Foundation have their own dog, and they've already bonded with this dog. This dog is already alerting. So in some cases, we don't know the medical history of the dogs we're working with. But when we're selecting a puppy, we do try to make sure we're working with a breeder that does medical.
Okay, yeah, genetics is everything.
Absolutely.
So, all right. I had some good questions, and I'm sorry to point that out. But I used to go on the veteran discount, but I used to go in and give presentations, and the oil field, there's always somebody looking to poke a hole in what you're doing. So that's just something I spot.
Nope, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you get pretty well razzed by your last thing you want to do is give a presentation, get nailed by your boss on, I thought you went to college, So, I kind of go at it like I wouldn't want to see a presentation and beforehand that a friend's given me, or a guy that worked for me, or a guy I work with that I like, go and do that. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed, really. I have questions about the training because, like I said, I've done some of it. The border collie, I had kind of a weird experience where, well, not weird, but I just didn't know anything about training. I got Family Dog, which is more what, Dick Walters is a pretty well-known bird dog trainer, but he also does some stuff. And that was the first book I ever read that talked about the psychological development. And you get a puppy and you start to sit. And then when they're doing that and you can't expect them to do it because they're like a little kid, 2-year-old or something, and they're gonna, it takes a while to develop all the stuff that you're developing, just like if you've ever raised a kid. It's a little bit longer term for the human, but yeah, you have to have certain expectations on where you're going. So I kind of was like, I was looking at some of the stuff on your training, and I kind of like getting, maybe a bigger, better thing on dog psychology. And it really got me because I was just going off of reading his book, and my border collie, she was kind of like, I give her a command. And my foxhound dog that I was trying to train, we got her to keep the other one company because she was, my other dog was having separation anxiety. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there's stories on that. But so the border collie was like, hey, man, I've been around here a year with you, and this wasn't part of the contract we signed, So, yeah, smart dog, right? It's like, I never had to do this. Why am I doing it now? So yeah, something like that is because you're probably going to come into situations with a lot of older dogs that have been around a little while. They're past that 7 week mark, or somebody just brought it home. And one thing, so that experience is going to be neat to get an in-depth, like into training camp, if things work out. Also, I had an experience where I was going to a pound to look for a dog, and most of our dogs have been rescue dogs. And there was this dog. He was a beautiful dog, but he kind of shied away in the back of the kennel, and he wasn't coming forward. And I always kind of try and pull him out and sit down and talk nice to him. And the dog would just, it was an SPCA shelter. So I felt bad for him, and I kind of sat down and got low, so I wasn't more standing over him and all that. And so your aggression training, the guy said, and the guy that was with the kennel looked different enough, hair color and build. And I thought, and the dog would look at me and bark. So he was obviously afraid of me. And I just felt bad that dog was probably going to be put down because someone that looked like me, abused him. And it was tough. So a lot of the elements in your business models or in your business plan, I like from a business standpoint, I like that there's a lot of revenue streams because that's always good.
Yes.
And I thought about, when I thought about, one thing I was wondering is, what is the best for getting your business off and running? Do you take the basic or the first chunk and then wait to do service and protection later? Or should you try and, how much can you absorb and do easily or effectively from a business standpoint?
That's a great question. So most of our owners start with basic obedience, aggression, anxiety, therapy, and psychiatric service. We cover all of those things in the initial
Wow.
program.
In 2 weeks.
Yep. Because a lot of those, believe it or not, the building block is the exact same. We overcome a lot of anxiety with obedience. The majority of dogs that suffer from severe anxiety, it is usually because they have no structure. They have no expectations put upon them. Dogs don't like that. They're pack animals. They want to know what's expected of them, when it's expected. So a lot of those building blocks are the same. As far as the advanced modalities, so mobility support, autism support, diabetic alert, protection, we do encourage you to get your business up and running and then come back for those trainings. There's 2 reasons. One, those require extensive dog training knowledge. So we want you to get out there and get working, learning dogs. And 2, a lot of our owners have been really surprised in what the demand was in their market. So they would get, as they open, they're getting, one person's getting all these calls for diabetic alert. And they're like, okay, that's what we need to do. Someone else is getting a lot of calls for autism support. So you kind of will learn what your market is demanding once you're up and running and can decide what those modalities are.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a wife that has diabetes, and she's type 2, and she's not that bad right now, but I don't think she's had it, but sometimes she gets, we're not sure whether it's her blood pressure right now. So we're just she's working with her doctor, but that diabetic support, and there's, my niece's husband's family has a kid with autism. And, so I've seen kind of how he suffers. And I don't know if a dog, I don't know if there seems to be a lot of things to that. So I'm not sure if a dog would help, but I could make that recommendation.
It helps most of the time. The 2 things with those advanced modalities is you have to be really knowledgeable about the clinical side and what that looks like. And for diabetic alert in particular, it is literally life or death, right? If that dog misses an alert, it's life or death. So that is one of those things you really want to be good at what you're doing before you put it on. So
there's a lot at stake.
Yes. So, but the most incredible dogs in the world once they're up and trained and working. So yeah, that's usually what we recommend is get started with those. Those are most of our trainers' bread and butter. I mean, their everyday is going to be obedience or psychiatric service. That's the most prevalent right now. There's a lot of one-off programs you'll be able to offer with obedience. We have an adventure dog program, for example, that's rolling out this year that is designed to get your dogs ready for whatever adventures your life may bring to you. So getting dogs ready to go kayaking, camping, hiking, boating. So just in a dog that can go on those adventures. Another program we just rolled out that's all based on obedience is wedding dogs. More and more people want their dogs in their weddings. So we have an entire package just to get your dog wedding ready. Again, all just built off of obedience. So it's bringing in lots of different options and packages for you to offer, but it's all the same building block. So you'll be able to offer quite a bit when you first open.
Yeah. I had one dog, our border collie didn't like, well, she's a land dog, obviously. We used to go down to Galveston Island and go to the beach, and she didn't want to come out with us. But my other dog, Shasta, she was a foxhound mix or a pure foxhound or a run of the litter that got dropped off at the Frederick Pound. And she would swim out there, and she would swim out across the sandbars. I didn't want to go across the second. We never went across the second sandbar to the third because there was about this deep water, and it's salt water. And, you know, you look down and you see the trout that the sharks have tailed. You know, they take the tail and leave the front end of the body behind. I said, nope, Shasta's not going past that. She's not swimming over that, you know. But I just, you know, she was my best buddy. When you talk about the adventure dog, I smiled because we used to go to this Black Hills Park near where I lived, and they had a man-made reservoir lake, and they rented canoes. And I grew up in New Hampshire, so canoes were, I mean, we even had a handmade birch bark canoe. My dad was such a big canoe guy. But we used to go out, and she would get in the canoe with me, and she would just sit in there, and, you know, you're paddling, and she'd be right in between my legs. And I had to watch how I paddled and everything. And I, you know, and she was just sitting there smiling with her tongue hanging out, just looking all around, having a great time. So yeah, having her, you know, everybody thought that was the best. So I have a lot of fond memories of the border collie was named Portia, Portia, not out, and I can't, you know, not like, I can't believe he named his daughter after the car, but yeah, she was a great dog too. She was just, I miss them so much. Okay, any more questions? How much time do we have?
We have about 5 more minutes.
Okay, so
Hey, Glenn, we have a couple more on a couple other people on the call too. Does anybody else have any questions that they want to jump in with? Just want to make sure everybody gets their opportunity to ask Kelly questions.
Yeah, I'm only seeing us three on the thing, so I thought it was.
Okay.
I apologize for hogging the show.
Hey, will you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, I'm Rafael. I'm trying to open this franchise with my son. He's going to be the one that is going to spend more time with this. No? Is there a way is there a recording of this presentation?
Yes, I am recording it now. So as soon as we wrap up the call, I will save it and get it over to Kyle to share with you.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. All right, does anybody else have any questions? Glenn, do you have another question? I think you're muted, Glenn.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I put my mind on shut up mode. I felt bad for hogging it. I was talking with Kyle earlier in the week, and I had watched a lot of the owner calls, and I was wondering if a lot of some of the owners were saying that having someone to manage your schedule is maybe is for some people was one of the first things that was advice for they had. But if you want to do training, and I do, you might want to have get somebody on board or get through the process of finding somebody early on, because your schedule is going to start being interesting. And so I was wondering, not that Kyle didn't answer the question very well. What is your take on that?
That is absolutely imperative. Yes. There's a couple reasons. One, you're going to get really busy really fast, most likely. Most of our owners have found themselves, hiring additional people outside of those 2 roles by month 2. So you don't want to miss out on opportunities because you're missing your phone ringing too. So that's one of the biggest reasons for that. You could come home and work all night, manage your schedule, do your QuickBooks, do all of that. But if you miss those phone calls when they're coming in, we live in a world right now that if you don't answer, they're going to hang up and call the next dog trainer on the list. So it's really important to be available. Our industry is pretty unique in that a lot of people still call too. A lot of people, other industries, people have moved completely to web leads or website chats, which we have all of that, but we still get a lot of phone calls, and it's because people love to talk about their dogs. They want to have a conversation about their dog. So it's really important that you're able to get those leads while they're hot. So that person, they are managing your schedule, yes, but they're answering the phone, they're answering web leads, they're answering people in the web chat feature that we have. To make sure that you're the first person who answers. We get lots and lots of calls every day in all of our locations. And when our friendly, awesome office staff answer the phone, a lot of people will say, "Oh my gosh, you answered the phone." Most dog trainers don't really understand the whole business aspect of it. And so they are just out there training dogs and not answering their calls. And so just answering your phone will make your business so successful. So yeah, I would recommend having a receptionist, an admin assistant, whatever you want to call that position, lined up and ready to go when you open. And if it is someone someone close to you, we do invite you to bring them out to boot camp. We don't charge any extra if you want to bring out a support team member with you to your boot camp. And then we allow them to sit down and spend some time with our admin team and get that specialized training.
Do we have, I want to let other people go first if they have questions, but I do have another question beyond that. So I'll cede the floor.
It looks like you're okay, Glenn. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. If I may.
Yes.
I'm looking this like a business. No? So you just talk about hiring somebody else. So the idea of the territories. How many territories are you allowed to have? Because if you're going to be doing this just by yourself and with one assistant, you're not going. I don't know how you're going to make a living. So it has to be something that you can have. Give the opportunity to other people. So
absolutely. So
you need to hire trainers. No?
Yes, you will need to hire trainers. So all of our franchise owners, whether they start with 1 territory or 5, we've had owners do both. You will have to add other trainers. And so if you're starting with more territories, most of our owners will still start with just themselves and their administrator, and we help them create a growth plan. So as they expand into those other areas, they bring on additional trainers and train them. We do have a Dog Training Elite internship program that most of our owners utilize to get new people trained and moving through their pipeline for those. So yeah, you definitely will have to add additional trainers, Rafael. Most of our owners now have anywhere from, on the low end, 3 trainers, on the high end, 12 trainers on staff.
Okay, and how many territories? Based on the experience so far,
Yeah,
This owner
so
with 10 territories, 20 territories,
so the low end, our owner that has 3 employees, he's in a single territory currently. Our owners that have 12 trainers have 6 territories currently.
okay, okay. Thank you, thank you.
Of course.
Well, if nobody else is going, I'm going to jump back in.
Okay.
You say you have like an app or a software suite. Does that do all your I guess it's customer resource management is the current buzzword for the software,
Yes.
and scheduling is all done within that app?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Everything is stored within our CRM, all of your client notes, all of the dog notes, contracts, scheduling, payments, it all runs through that central
Okay.
app.
And do you guys have like, do you guys have a way of monitoring that from the home office? Is that, I mean, just, is that like a forensic kind of audit thing or?
It is.
Well, no, I mean, we're all in business and people are people and, everybody should be doing things upright. But I just want to know going in that, I used to have a security clearance and I always wanted to live my life like I didn't want to have a reason to look over my shoulder. And
Yep.
I still live that way, even though I'm not connected with the military. But I understand, what is it? Ronnie Reagan or the Iron Lady from Britain, Margaret Thatcher, was credited with trust but verify, and
Yeah.
if you're not, yeah, you need to be
Yep. So
accountable.
we absolutely can see everything that's going on. It's actually a really great tool because we can compare similar markets. So we can look at that and say, okay, so Glenn's doing really awesome in his market. Raphael's struggling a little bit. Let's see where Glenn's putting extra marketing
Don't
dollars.
pick on Raphael. I'll be the poor performer.
So we can do a lot of market comparisons with it. And we always tell our franchise owners, we should know you have a problem before you know you have a problem. And that tool is one of the ways that we can do that, is by we can see how many leads have come in, and from those leads, how many turned into demos and how many turned into sales. So that helps us give you tips and tricks to make your business more successful. So yeah, we absolutely can look at it, but we try to only do so for positive reasons.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. There's words in the FDD for other stuff, but all right. And are we out of time or?
Let's take one more question. Go for it.
I don't have one.
Okay.
I did, but I had a 2-prong question, but I forgot what because that was more important to me then. So I'll cede the floor.
One thing I'll go back to that you asked earlier, Glenn, and I didn't get a fully answer, was you asked about our training model or training methods, and that's a really important thing, I think, to talk to for just a second. We believe in a balanced dog training approach. So if you're looking at dog training, methodologies, we go with a balanced approach. We believe that praise is incredibly important in training. People ask if we're treat trainers. We are not. We're praise trainers. We use praise instead of treats. Treats are great when you're first teaching a new concept, but there's a serious issue with canine obesity and a serious issue with dogs becoming reliant on that food. So we use praise in place of treats. And we do believe correction should be used when correction is necessary. If we're working with aggression, for example, we can't treat a dog out of aggression. So we definitely come in the balanced approach. Dog psychology, dogs are similar to people in that there's consequence, right? They can figure out cause and effect. And so our training is built around cause and effect and conditioning. So I obviously can't go into our full training methodology right now, but we are balanced dog trainers. So I do feel like it's important to talk about. All right, guys. If we don't have any other questions today, it looks like we are up for time. You all will still get, those individual calls with me later when we get through that process where you can hammer out lots of those questions with me ask our owners when you get to that step a lot of these same questions. They have a lot of insight into not only the training, but running the businesses in the different areas across the country. Every demographic is different. So I think you can get a lot of good insight from them. But I really appreciate you all taking the time today and getting to know our brand. And I look forward to getting to know each of you better throughout this process.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.